In the small town of Enfield, nestled on the outskirts of London, a quaint house stood silent against the backdrop of a dreary, overcast sky. Little did the Hodgson family know that their seemingly ordinary home would soon become a theater of nightmares, a stage for malevolent forces that defied reason and comprehension. The year was 1977, and the Hodgson family, consisting of single mother Peggy and her 4 children Margaret, 12, Shawnee, 11, Johnny, 10, and Billy, 7, had recently moved into their modest abode. Life, as they knew it, was about to be irrevocably altered by an otherworldly presence that lurked in the shadows, waiting to unleash its spectral fury upon their unsuspecting lives. Peggy, a resilient woman accustomed to facing life's challenges head-on, initially dismissed the odd occurrences in the house as mere quirks. However, as the days passed and the incidents escalated in intensity, she could no longer ignore the chilling reality that something malevolent had taken residence within the walls of their home. It began innocently enough. Unexplained knocks echoed through the halls, and doors creaked open on their own accord. Disembodied whispers whispered secrets that chilled the bones. But the true horror emerged one fateful night when the Hodgson family was thrust into a nightmare that would grip the town of Enfield in terror. The air grew thick with an oppressive force. As the clock struck midnight, the children were jolted, awake by the sound of heavy furniture scraping across the floor, and they rushed to their mother's room in sheer terror. Peggy, determined to shield her children from whatever malevolent force had invaded their home, attempted to comfort them with soothing words. But as the family huddled together in the darkness, an unseen entity revealed itself, with a cacophony of ungodly laughter that echoed through the house. A cold breeze swept through the room, extinguishing the feeble candle light and plunging the household into an abyss of darkness. The children clung to their mother, their eyes wide with terror, as the room seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. The events that followed defied the laws of nature and reasoned. Furniture levitated off the ground, swirling in a chaotic dance of spectral malevolence. The walls vibrated with an ominous hum, and the air itself seemed to crackle with an ethereal electricity. The Hodgson family found themselves at the mercy of an entity that reveled in the fear it instilled. As the nights turned into a never-ending cycle of horror, news of the Enfield Poltergeist spread like wildfire through the town. Local authorities were skeptical, dismissing the events as mere hysteria or elaborate hoaxes perpetrated by the family. However, one couple, renowned paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, saw through the veil of skepticism and felt a calling to investigate the malevolent force that gripped the Hodgson household. Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned for their expertise in dealing with supernatural phenomena, arrived in Enfield to confront the very essence of evil that had taken residence in the Hodgson home. The air crackled with tension as the investigators set foot into the haunted abode, their seasoned senses attuned to the unseen forces that permeated the atmosphere. Peggy, desperate for respite from the unrelenting terror that plagued her family, welcomed the Warrens with a mixture of hope and trepidation. Ted, a tall and imposing figure with a grizzled beard and piercing eyes, exuded an air of authority that commanded respect. Lorraine, his wife, possessed a sensitive gift that allowed her to perceive the spiritual realm with an unsettling clarity. Together, the Warrens and the Hodgsons embarked on a harrowing journey into the heart of darkness that lurked within the confines of the Enfield house. Armed with an arsenal of holy artifacts, ancient texts, and unwavering determination, the investigators sought to confront the malevolent entity and banish it from the mortal realm. The nights that followed were a descent into madness, the entity, aware of the intruders in its domain, unleashed a torrent of supernatural phenomena that tested the limits of the investigators' resolve. Shadows danced along the walls, contorting into grotesque shapes that mocked the fragility of human sanity. Unearthly whispers taunted the investigators, revealing long-buried secrets and exploiting their deepest fears. Lorraine, sensitive to the spiritual energies that permeated the house, experienced visions of a dark and tormented history. She saw the specter of a tormented soul, a restless spirit consumed by rage and anguish. The entity, it seemed, was not a mere poltergeist, but a malevolent force with a sinister agenda that transcended the bounds of the living. As the investigators delved deeper into the mysteries of the Enfield house, they uncovered a dark chapter in its history. The land on which the house stood was tainted by a tragic past, a tale of betrayal and unspeakable horror that had left an indelible mark on the fabric of reality. The entity, driven by a malevolent intelligence, sought to perpetuate its suffering by tormenting the living. Ed and Lorraine, undeterred by the malevolent force that sought to drive a wedge between them, pressed on with their investigation. Armed with a profound faith and a steadfast belief in the power of good over evil, they confronted the entity in a battle of wills that transcended the mortal realm. The climax of the confrontation unfolded in the dead of night, as the Enfield house became a battleground between the forces of light and darkness. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy as the entity, enraged by the intrusion, unleashed a torrent of supernatural fury. Furniture levitated, objects hurled through the air, and the very foundations of reality seemed to tremble under the weight of the paranormal onslaught. Ed, guided by a transcendent sense of purpose, brandished a relic of divine power, a crucifix that radiated with an ethereal glow. With unwavering determination, he recited ancient incantations, invoking the divine authority that stood against the forces of darkness. Lorraine, her senses attuned to the spiritual realm, lent her strength to the ritual, amplifying the potency of the sacred rites. The entity, confronted by the united front of the investigators, recoiled in the face of the divine onslaught. A guttural scream echoed through the house as the malevolent force struggled against the purifying light that sought to banish it from the mortal realm. Shadows writhed and contorted, dissipating like smoke in the wind, as the entity fought desperately to maintain its tenuous grip on the material world. In a climactic crescendo, the malevolent force succumbed to the power of the divine. The Enfield house, once a theater of horrors, fell silent as the oppressive atmosphere lifted. The Hodgson family, liberated from the shackles of supernatural torment, emerged from the ordeal with a newfound sense of resilience. As the first light of dawn bathed the Enfield house in a soft glow, Ed and Lorraine Warren their faces etched with the weariness of spiritual warfare, stood before the threshold of the once haunted abode. The malevolent force that had gripped the town in terror had been vanquished, its dark legacy forever banished from the mortal realm. The events of that fateful night faded into the annals of Enfield's history, whispered in hushed tones by those who had witnessed the supernatural turmoil that unfolded within the seemingly ordinary walls of the Hodgson home. The Warrens, having confronted the malevolent force head-on, left a town forever changed by the spectral horrors that had gripped its heart. And so, the Enfield Poltergeist became a haunting chapter in the paranormal chronicles, a testament to the thin veil that separates the living from the supernatural. The town, though scarred by the trauma of that dark period, emerged with a newfound awareness of the unseen forces that lurked in the shadows, waiting to test the resilience of mortal souls. As the years passed, the Enfield house stood as a silent witness to the events that had unfolded within its walls. Its windows, once darkened by the malevolent force that had sought to perpetuate its suffering, now glistened with the soft glow of ordinary life. The town of Enfield, though forever marked by the spectral legacy of the past, moved forward with a newfound understanding of the fragility of the boundaries that separate the living from the dead. And so, the tale of the Enfield Poltergeist faded into the mist of time, a chilling reminder that, in the darkness that lurks beyond the veil of the ordinary, malevolent forces may lie in wait, eager to test the limits of mortal courage and resilience. The Warrens, having faced the horrors of Enfield head-on, continued their journey into the supernatural, ready to confront whatever malevolent entities dare to defy the laws of the living. The Enfield house, though forever etched in the collective memory of the town, stood as a testament to the triumph of light over darkness, of faith over fear. And so the legacy of the Enfield Poltergeist became a whispered tale, a cautionary reminder that, in the shadows that dance along the edges of perception, the supernatural may forever remain an enigma, waiting to reveal its secret. The worlds, a blinding light enveloped the mansion as the trapped souls, guided by the ethereal gateway, ascended to a higher plane of existence. The air, once heavy with the weight of sorrow, lifted, and a sense of peace settled over the mansion like a gentle breeze. To those who dare to confront the unknown, the aftermath of the Enfield Poltergeist incident left an indelible mark on the Hodgson family. Though the malevolent force had been banished, the scars it left behind were not easily forgotten. The town of Enfield, still reeling from the supernatural events that had unfolded within its midst, grappled with the unsettling question of whether such darkness could ever truly be eradicated. As the months passed, the Warrens remained in contact with the Hodgson family, offering support and guidance as they attempted to rebuild their lives. Peggy, the matriarch, who had faced the brunt of the supernatural onslaught, found solace in the companionship of those who understood the depths of the paranormal forces at play. The investigators, Ed and Lorraine, continued their work in the field of paranormal research, their reputation growing with each successful confrontation of malevolent entities. News of the Enfield incident had spread far and wide, attracting the attention of those who sought answers to the mysteries that lurked beyond the veil of the ordinary. In the wake of the Enfield Poltergeist, the Warrens found themselves drawn into a new case of haunting that transcended the boundaries of time and space. The trail led them to a desolate mansion on the outskirts of a forgotten town, where the echoes of a tragic past reverberated through the empty halls. The mansion, abandoned for decades, stood as a haunting testament to a bygone era. Its dilapidated facade masked the untold horrors that lay within, secrets that had long been buried beneath layers of dust and decay. As Ed and Lorraine crossed the threshold, they could sense the residual energy that clung to the walls like a lingering specter. The investigation unfolded like a macabre dance with the supernatural. Creaking floorboards echoed through the empty corridors, and the air hung heavy with the weight of forgotten memories. The Warrens, armed with their arsenal of paranormal expertise, delved into the history of the mansion, uncovering a tale of betrayal, forbidden love, and a tragedy that had condemned the souls within to an eternity of restless torment. As the investigators ventured deeper into the mansion's secrets, they discovered a portal to the spiritual realm, a gateway through which the lingering spirits sought to communicate with the living. Ed and Lorraine, undeterred by the ethereal forces that surrounded them, endeavored to bridge the gap between the worlds, to offer solace to the tormented souls that yearned for release. The climax of the investigation unfolded in a symphony of supernatural phenomena. The walls of the mansion seemed to come alive with the anguished cries of the trapped spirits, and the air pulsed with an otherworldly energy. Ed and Lorraine, their faith unwavering, faced the malevolent force that held the souls in its spectral grip. The battle between the investigators and the supernatural force raged on, each side determined to assert dominance over the realm of the living. Shadows danced along the walls, contorting into grotesque shapes that mirrored the twisted history of the mansion. The air crackled with an intensity that transcended the boundaries of mortal comprehension as the investigators recited ancient incantations and brandished sacred relics. The malevolent force fought back with a ferocity that defied the laws of nature. Objects levitated off the ground, and the very fabric of reality seemed to warp and shift. The mansion itself groaned under the strain of the supernatural struggle, as if the building itself were a living entity, caught in the throes of an otherworldly conflict. In a climactic moment, the investigators succeeded in opening a conduit between the Warrens, their faces etched with the weariness of spiritual warfare, emerged from the mansion as dawn painted the sky with hues of pink and gold. The malevolent force had been vanquished, and the souls that had languished in the shadows had found release. The forgotten town, now freed from the specter of the haunted mansion, could finally begin the process of healing. The tale of the abandoned mansion joined the ranks of the Warrens' legendary cases, a testament to the enduring power of faith and the indomitable spirit of those who dared to confront the supernatural. The investigators, having faced the mysteries of time and space head-on, continued their journey into the unknown, ready to confront whatever malevolent entities dared to defy the laws of the living. And so the legacy of Ed and Lorraine Warren, paranormal investigators extraordinaire, continued to unfold. Each case brought them face to face with the inexplicable, the unexplainable, and the terrifying forces that lurked in the shadows of the mortal realm. The Enfield Poltergeist and the Haunted Mansion were but chapters in a saga that spanned the boundaries of the supernatural, a testament to the enduring quest for understanding in the face of the unknown. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the landscape, Ed and Lorraine Warren, their eyes reflecting the wisdom of those who had traversed the realms of the supernatural, set forth on a new journey. The mysteries of the paranormal waited, and the investigators, guided by the flickering light of a lantern that defied the encroaching darkness, ventured into the unknown with a courage that transcended the boundaries of mortal existence. And so the saga of Ed and Lorraine Warren continued, a tale woven into the fabric of the paranormal, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of unspeakable horrors. The shadows danced along the edges of perception, and the investigators, armed with faith and determination, pressed forward into the enigma of the supernatural, ready to confront whatever malevolent entities dare to defy the laws of the living. Immediate events surrounding the Enfield Poltergeist and the subsequent investigations by Ed and Lorraine Warren did not go unnoticed by the media. In the small town of Enfield, where local news typically revolved around community events and daily life, the sudden influx of journalists and reporters turned the Hodgson family's ordeal into a sensationalized spectacle. As word spread of the supernatural disturbances in the Hodgson home, the media descended upon the quiet town like a swarm of hungry vultures, eager to capture the next big headline. Newspapers published sensationalized stories with bold headlines, and television crew set up camp outside the Hodgson residence, turning the once ordinary house into a focal point of paranormal intrigue. The initial reports were met with skepticism from both the local community and the broader public. Many believed that the Hodgson family was either perpetrating an elaborate hoax or succumbing to mass hysteria. Skeptics dismissed the paranormal claims, attributing the strange occurrences to natural phenomena or psychological factors. However, as the intensity of the supernatural events escalated, drawing the attention of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, the media narrative began to shift. The involvement of the renowned paranormal experts lent a degree of legitimacy to the story, attracting even more attention from the press and the public. Television documentaries, radio shows, and newspaper articles delved into the details of the haunting, recounting the chilling experiences of the Hodgson family. The Enfield Poltergeist became a household name synonymous with the inexplicable and the macabre. People from all walks of life followed the developments with a mix of fascination and fear, drawn to the mysterious events unfolding in the seemingly ordinary town. The media coverage reached its peak during the climactic confrontation between the Warrens and the malevolent force within the Enfield house. Television crews broadcast live updates, capturing the tension and terror that permeated the atmosphere. The nation held its breath as the investigators faced the supernatural entity, and the town of Enfield became a focal point of paranormal intrigue. As the story unfolded, various experts and skeptics were invited to offer their perspectives on the supernatural events. Debates raged on television and radio talk shows, with skeptics attempting to debunk the claims while believers passionately defended the existence of the paranormal. The Enfield Poltergeist had become a cultural phenomenon, sparking discussions on the boundaries between belief and skepticism, science and the supernatural. In the aftermath of the climactic confrontation, the media's attention gradually waned. However, the legacy of the Enfield Poltergeist endured in the annals of paranormal history. Books and documentaries continue to explore the events, offering different perspectives on the haunting and the role of Ed and Lorraine Warren in confronting the supernatural. Over time, the Enfield Poltergeist became a touchstone for those fascinated by the unexplained. The house itself, though returned to a semblance of normalcy, retained an air of eerie notoriety. Occasional reports of lingering paranormal activity or ghostly sightings ensured that the Enfield haunting remained etched in the collective memory of those who had followed its story. The media exposure of the Enfield Poltergeist, while sensationalized and often polarizing, played a significant role in bringing paranormal phenomena into mainstream consciousness. The tale of the haunted house in Enfield served as a cautionary reminder of the thin veil between the known and the unknown, sparking ongoing debates on the nature of the supernatural and humanity's enduring fascination with the mysteries that lie beyond the ordinary.